Wikileaks founder Julian Assange has agreed to plead guilty to a felony charge in a deal with the U.S. Justice Department that will allow him to walk free. Assange revealed state secrets about America's wars on his website Wikileaks. U.S. prosecutors have been trying to get him back on American soil to face charges for years. The plea deal he's agreed to sign will take place on a remote island in the western Pacific Ocean.
I feel elated. I also feel worried, because I'm so used to this. Anything could happen. I'm worried that until it's fully signed off, I worry, but it looks like we've got there, and Julian's free. So I'll really believe it when I have him in front of me, and I can take him and hug him, and then it will be real. Yes, I mean, when we met, he was under house arrest. It will be the first time that I get to see him as a fully free man. And when I was speaking to him, I said, well, we can go for a walk, and there will be no restrictions, no curfew, no, all this it's so alien to the way it's been until now for the past 14 years. I don't know what happens next. I think that Australia is a very good place to regain your health and sanity. I think that goes not just for Julian, but for me as well. It's been a rough, very rough few years, and we need some time. And I think Australia's very supportive of Julian. Obviously, I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't the case. The population, the parliament, the government, and so on. So, what's important is that Julian's safe, and that we have time to be able to move into the next chapter.
I've been very clear as both the Labor leader in opposition, but also as Prime Minister, that regardless of the views that people have about Mr Assange's activities, the case has dragged on for too long. There's nothing to be gained by his continued incarceration, and we want him brought home to Australia. And we have engaged and advocated Australia's interests using all appropriate channels to support a positive outcome, and I've done that since very early on in my Prime Ministership. I will have more to say when these legal proceedings have concluded, which I hope will be very soon.
I think that the correct course of action from the US government should have been to drop the case entirely. We will be seeking a pardon, obviously, but the fact that there is a guilty plea under the Espionage Act in relation to obtaining and disclosing national defense information is obviously a very serious concern for journalists and national security journalists in general.
Well, I think enough was enough. I'm pleased that he's been released. I'm sorry that it's taken the plea on a charge of espionage, because I don't think actually anybody thinks that what he was doing was espionage. The use of these really punitive laws to which there is no defense will have had the effect of silencing all kinds of journalists from doing this kind of journalism.
Regardless of what this means for Mr. Assange, it's terrible for the United States. This prosecution should not have happened. This is the first time in the 100-year history of the Espionage Act that a journalist or someone committing journalism, someone engaging in journalistic act, has been prosecuted under the Espionage Act for essentially receiving information and communicating information. And this is something that journalists do all the time. They receive information and they communicate information. And journalists who cover national security have a responsibility to try to help keep the rest of us informed about what our government is up to.